And we are live, people. What's up, everybody? AJ here from H's Collectibles, back with another TCI interview episode. This is episode 12 of my TCI interview series, and I'm just proud and honored to have Jerry on here, the bro, and definitely check him out, man. He has a lot of great content on his Instagram, his channel. Make sure you check out his videos, all his posts on Instagram. His his YouTube is in the description below, as well as his Instagram. Like I mentioned, he's got a lot of great content. He does a little bit of everything, which I love. And definitely just check him out, man. Go follow him and go subscribe to him. Jerry, would you like to say something?
Yeah, hey guys. Well, hey, it's Jerry from JerrysGotPops. I'm a pretty small YouTuber, Instagrammer, but I really enjoy doing it. It's a fun hobby. Really great to connect with people like AJ. I'm really happy to be on here. I love watching AJ's stuff and a lot of the other small YouTubers that I get to connect with through this content. I think that we're all really blessed to sort of have a tight circle of people and also just to be in connection with each other through something that we all love. So really grateful to be here. I'm getting close to 200 subscribers. I think I'm like 6 away. So if you do subscribe, that's getting me closer to that milestone. So that's really awesome. So definitely check my content out if you want. But I think I have a lot of fun over there. But that's up to you to judge. But absolutely. Well, thanks for having me again, AJ.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad you took time out of your day to be on here and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like Jerry said, he's a few away from 200 subscribers, so make sure you go follow him, go subscribe to him, all that good stuff and everything. All right, so Jerry,
Mm-hmm.
before you got into collecting all that good stuff, what kind of person were you? Were you someone who was chill, and then one day, you decided, oh, I like everything from my childhood, and that made you want to collect?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually it's funny. And I don't know if people can tell from my videos, but I'm like a really big like social butterfly. Like I'm the type of person who's like, I have a big circle of friends. I have lots of people. I'm really very extra. I'm a big old extrovert, and so that means like when I was growing up, like I was just always talking to people. I would always have these big social gatherings, all this stuff. But most of the time, it was all centered around like my love of nerddom and everything that being a nerd was about. I'm the type of kid that brought mangas with him to school in middle school, and the type of kid who has been collecting toys and things since I was a little kid. I remember I used to have. It's funny you mentioned back, but my brothers and I have a big family, so I'm one of 7. So I have a huge, lot of brothers and sisters. So when I was little, me and my brothers, we would have this drawer in our living room or in our kitchen, and all we would do is we would fill it up with different like collectible cards. So we used to have this huge drawer just like filled with like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Also, we used to have like Zatch Bell cards, freaking Dragon Ball cards, Pokemon cards, like every card you could imagine. So and that's like when I was like 7, 8 years old. Like we used to start collecting cards, manga. I used to have these like tiny X-Men like iron figures that you could get at like the dollar store. I used to have like a whole windowsill filled with them. So it's funny because I feel like I've been like a collector my whole life. I've always been the type that's like wanted to put things together, piece things together, and like loved having like physical representations of the things that I enjoy, and I really do like enjoy. I feel like I'm one of those nerds who's like into like a little bit of everything also. So like I grew up, I read comic books, but I also read manga, I watched anime, I watched cartoons, I loved movies, I loved TV shows. So I was the kind of nerd that was just into everything. And that was like my whole thing. How do we bring nerds together, and how do we have nerds like hang out and have a social connection? So I grew up around that, and so that's sort of where my love of collecting came from. And I think that it just didn't become like really actualized until I was old enough to have my own money and to go and spend it on the things that I wanted to spend it on. So that was really the big kind of the transformation moment. Once you become an adult and you're like, oh, I have money to potentially spend on things that I care about. So all of a sudden I was able to do that. So it was really cool. And that's a little bit of who, I was. And also like I was a theater kid. I was super involved in like student leadership and student clubs, student council, things like that, National Honor Society. I'm the kid that was like class presidents and always was on like class council and all this stuff. So I was just a very involved person when it came to my social life. I just loved being being around people. So that's been a sort of my personality always. So yeah, that's a little bit about who I was before, back in the day, little kid Jerry.
Definitely, definitely. I hear that. Myself. I was like the same way. Just wouldn't be around people. But then at a young age, I was bullied and everything, and it was just hard for me growing up. Having trust issues and everything. But now that I'm part of this community with you, everyone else, like Woke Sage, Aztec, I love it. It just makes me not think about the past, where the time I was bullied and everything, and I just love all this community that we, being a part of, so huge, and help out one another. It's just, for me, it's just been a great experience so far as well.
And we're lucky to have you. I say that, like, the only reason I've stayed collecting for as long as I have is because of the people that I've met. Like, and I think that at the end of the day, like, all of us that are into these things, like, when I think about middle school, like, I think it would be undeniable to say that I wasn't, like, bullied, right? Like, I think everyone had people that were disrespectful and didn't care about, like, the things that we cared about, and they tried to act like, you're bad for liking that, or like you're wrong for liking Japanese cartoons. I feel like I used to have all sorts of kids tell me that and stuff, but I do think that part of growing up and learning is just like, we meet people who we connect with. And I think we're grateful, right, to have gotten to meet over something so cool to me, to just get to meet. And I wouldn't stay collecting Funko if I didn't have so many friends in the community. The last 2 years, like, I've met so many people across multiple states, across the world, truly, that have been both supporters of me and supporters of things I do, but also I get to support them, and that's been great. So AJ, I'm so lucky that I got introduced to your stuff and find you when you were just getting involved on I think I saw your page like the moment you posted your first video, and I've been watching along ever since. So it's just great to get to have that, and just to get to hang and chat and be able to share our love of the many of Marvel. I mean, you love Marvel, but everyone else gets to share in your love of Marvel, because we get to love Marvel with you.
No, I mean, I'm like you, like pretty much everyone else, I do a little bit of everything as well,
Right.
Like, spoiler alert for everyone, I started a new Funko Pop line of Yu-Gi-Oh.
I've got my here you go. Here's Blue Eyes right here. He sits right next to me. That one's so sick.
Yeah, it is.
Yu-Gi-Oh's huge nostalgia for me. I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh was like one of my first like things as a kid that I was into. I played the card games. I went to tournaments. Yu-Gi-Oh's huge.
Yeah, for real. Like, for me, I got introduced like Yu-Gi-Oh kind of last. Like, for me, I was like into Pokemon a lot.
Oh.
And then I had a friend, like, when I think I was like maybe 7, telling me about Yu-Gi-Oh. He gave me like my first card. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, "What is this? I don't know about Yu-Gi-Oh." And I was like, just look it up on the internet and search it up. And immediately I fell in love with it. I had like maybe like 5 binders full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
And then when before junior high, I was an idiot. I gave them all away.
Oh my! Come on, AJ. Those could be worth something now.
I know. I was an idiot. I regret it.
That's awesome. No, yeah, I remember. I'll never forget when I was little. I mowed my dad's yard so that he would give me some money. And we went to like 7-Eleven or something. And bought like the very first like Yugi and Kaiba like starter decks when I was a kid, because we loved we loved watching the anime on TV, and so when they first released them, like I remember I was like, "Oh, Dad, I'm gonna mow the lawn so I can get some money and like go and get these Yu-Gi-Oh cards." So yeah, that's fantastic, dude. And I saw you got the Yugi Nindroid, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, that one's so sweet. I got it's been sitting in my games. I don't know. I want it. It's good.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, before we continue, I want to shout everybody who's in here so far. Caleb, Waken Sage, Aztec, Nakama. Really appreciate every single one of you for tuning in and commenting and liking so far. Really appreciate every single one of you. And also for those who are watching the replay afterwards, after we go live and everything. Really appreciate every single one of you.
Absolutely.
Now, when you mentioned like you had like bins and full of cards and stuff and like all your figures, do you still have them to this day, or you don't?
No, so my brothers and I remember. So we used to keep them all in this big drawer, and then my little brother, one of my little brothers, he got like really into Yu-Gi-Oh and cards. So he decided he was like, I'm taking all this. So he was like, he took all of it, and then at one point he kind of like purged a little bit, and they got rid of a couple of them. We still have. I asked him just the other day. He's got like a couple binders, I think, or maybe just some bins of some old cards. But a lot of my old toys and stuff, I'm pretty sure I got rid of them at some point in high school, and I don't remember where a lot of them went. A lot of I used to collect these like they were like dollar. I used to get them at like Family Dollar, and they were like these little like X-Men figures that were like metal. And I used to have like 30, 40, 50 of them at one point. And at some point in like high school, maybe middle school, I remember I got rid of them all. And I don't remember why. I mean, I regret that. Like I loved those things when I was little. So a lot of those older stuff, I do surprisingly. I have a lot of my old comic books and manga from when I was little. I even have like they used to do like physical prints of like Shonen Jump. And I've got like probably like 10 of those from when I was at some point in like middle school. I've still got some of those. But a lot of my older stuff I don't have anymore. And I also regret it. You know, like you said, I regret not holding on to that stuff. But it was like, I think at some point in high school, you kind of like, you feel like you're too cool for it. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to dip, I don't need all this stuff. And then all of a sudden you like get to another point and you're like, oh, wait, I love that stuff. Like, why did I get rid of it?
Exactly.
Like, so.
We got Aztec over here saying if we have the 6-inch Exodia.
Oh yeah, I haven't got Exodia yet. I have it. I pre-ordered it through Hot Topic, and they haven't freaking. Hot Topic has had a bunch of delays on their pops. So like, I pre-ordered the whole new wave of Yu-Gi-Oh, and they're all on. They're on pre-order. So I don't know. They haven't mailed them out. I think they're set to come out. They keep pushing it back. It's like they said it was going to be June, and now I think it says July or August. And I'm like, they're already on the shelves at Walmart. I was like, why didn't I just? I'm mad, but it's whatever. I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Aztec over here says he's asking you if with the pops you have out of box, do you have like duplicates of each of them?
Do I have duplicates? No, not of all of them. I'm the type of person that if it's a common, even if it maybe eventually like raises in price, for the most part, if it's a common, like I just take them out of box. I keep the boxes; they're all in my closet. But I'm just not I'm just like, if it's gonna be a common pop, like it's $10. Like I don't mind taking it out and just keeping the box safe and putting the pop on the shelf. I will admit though, you can probably maybe see it. Rukia is out of box. She's right behind Yusuke, like right here, and I think she's up to like $80, $100 now. So it's whatever. I took her out when she was cheap. And now she just sits up there. But I still have the box. But no, I don't do duplicates. The only duplicates I have are of like some of my favorite shows, like One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho, and then Community. Those are the three that I have duplicates of the sets. I don't have all of the One Piece duplicates because some of them are really expensive, but I have a lot of them duplicated but I don't have like doubles of Law or like doubles of Brook, which are really expensive at this point. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nakama said that you have a warehouse full of duplicates.
No. I wish. I'd have to go get a storage unit and just duplicate it. I don't got that kind of money.
And then Aztec over here saying that you like to air out the pops. They need to breathe.
Yeah, let them breathe. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, Aztec. That's the truth. I like my pops to breathe. I am all about like letting them out. These guys are just so cool, like. I don't know. I'm just the type that if they're cheap, I don't mind taking them out. I got a bunch in stacks and in nice protectors on this side of the room and whatnot. The ones that are worth, above $50, $60, like I'm going to keep those safe and keep them in nice condition. But the $10, I have that like 1,000 Funko Pops now, I think at this point. And it's like the cheaper ones, like I want them to be out and be like, look nice. And this Shonen Jump shelf and like this Marvel shelf right here, like I like being able to just like let those be in the background and like be a part of my, when I wake up and I come up here, I want to be hyper about my collection,
Right.
Yes.
Now, speaking of Funko Pops, like, what got you into collecting them? Like, what was the first thing that attracted to you to, originally first getting them?
Absolutely. Oh, what a great story. I remember. Okay, so I was in college, and it was my birthday. I want to say it was probably 2014, maybe 2015. Um, and some of these two people that I knew, they just wanted to surprise. They knew I was a nerd. They knew I was into all this nerdy stuff, so they wanted to surprise me with like a present. And they showed up and they gave me a Funko Pop, and it was a Groot. It was Groot, you know, the original, the bobbly Groot, the dancing.
Oh, yeah.
It was Groot, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. You know, I like Guardians, so I was like, oh, awesome. I was like, I don't know what this is, but sweet. I remember I ripped the box open. I was like, you know, like, threw it in the trash, like put my little Groot on my desk. I was so hyper about that, and literally, like, I want to say like a week or two after that, one of my mentors at the time also got me a present. Because it was all my birthday's in January, so like my birthday and Christmas are like close together. So I got a present from one of my mentors, and it was the Hal Jordan Green Lantern Funko Pop. And same thing, you know, I ripped it open, put it on my desk, and I love the Green Lantern. So like the Green Lantern's like my idol. So I put those two on my desk, and probably for about 2 or 3 years, all I did was like I picked up a pop like here or there. You know, I found one. I think I found some at a convention once, and I was like, "Oh, those are cool. I'm going to grab those ones." I think I bought one at like a Walmart once. I found one at Walgreens, and I was like, "Oh, these are cool." And then it was the summer of 2018, and someone had told me, I had walked into a Hot Topic, and I saw Broly. It was Super Saiyan Broly. He was one of the SDC exclusives for that summer convention, and I saw there was a sticker on it. And I remember I went home and I was messaging one of my friends who was into Pops, because she had bought the Sailor Moon one that was exclusive to that con. And I was like, they make con Pops that come out like everywhere? And she was like, yeah, like they release them all over the nation. It's like a simultaneous release. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I remember that night I like researched. I was like, you know, I was like Googling like all night. I was like, what does this mean? Like, what are all these things? And there was something about the collectability of them, you know, just that stores were getting them specific characters. And I found out that like one of the ones that I already bought was like a Walgreens exclusive. I had bought like Jon Stewart like a long time ago as the Green Lantern, and I found it in a Walgreens, but I didn't know that like it meant anything. But once I found out there was all this like technical jargon about it, I got like really interested in it. And I think it was like, I'm kind of a nerd for like numbers also. Like I love like numbers and just like things that are just like a little more complex. Like there's lots of information to learn. So all of a sudden I just started like researching constantly. I was like, you know what, I would go through, I literally would like the first month or so that I got into them, I would open up the Funko Pop page, like Pop Price Guide, and I'd like sort it by numbers and by like section, like animation. And I'd literally go through one at a time, like number 1, number 2, number 3, and I'd like remember them. I'd start memorizing them. And it's crazy now because I have like this huge, I pretty much can name a Funko Pop like off the top of my head just from seeing it like out of box. And it's all because I just did all this research. But yeah, so it was just the categorizing of them and like the section, the way they did the boxes. I really liked it. So I remember I went out, I bought a couple like right after I did all my research. Broly was one of the first ones I bought like after I got really into it. And I remember I was like, wow, like these are cool. They make a lot of anime ones. And before I knew it, it was like I had 100 of them. I had 200 of them. I had 300. And then it was all of a sudden I just had, I was getting everything that I wanted and liked. And I started to get more rare ones. I started to get better ones. And I think that was just the fun of it. And I think I would have stopped, but I remember I met this guy, one of the first releases I ever went to, and he was like the coolest dude. And I was like, who is this guy? And he like kept in touch with me. And he's one of the first people that told me to like, get connected in the community. So it was like after that, and I started to meet more people and like more people in my area, and then more people around the world. It was like, this is a fun thing to share the things that we love. So I just loved it. And I am a staunch, I feel like a lot of my friends in the community are starting to kind of give up on Funko. You know, they're trying to like, and not completely, but a lot of people are moving on to other toys and collectibles. I myself have lots of other toys and collectibles too. But Funko like has my heart, I think. And I'm just a big fanatic, you know, like at the end of the day, like I really love Funko. Oh, in the documentary, if you've never seen it, Making Fun on it used to be on Netflix. It's not on there anymore. I remember I watched that documentary also, and it like it really bought me into the idea of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just fell in love with the collectability, and I fell in love with the community. And without those two things, I would have never been a fanatic.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many would you think you have in your collection?
Yeah, I think I'm at a little over 1,000 right now.
Man,
a little bit over 1,000. So it's probably, it kind of wavers because I usually am trying to get rid of some always, like to just clear up a little bit of space. I actually have a pile off screen right here of about 50 that I'm like currently selling. So sometimes you just realize that you bought something because of hype or something else, or maybe you wanted it, but then they made too many variants, so now you want to clear out some of those variants. So that's kind of what's happened to me is I just started to clear out. But I have right at about 1,000. I could go higher. I mean, I have the space to go to 2,000 if I want, but do I have the money for that? I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll see.
That's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have them all displayed, or do you have like some in bins and everything?
Right now, every pop that I own is in this room with me right now. So they're all here, but they're not all technically viewable because, and you can kind of see it here, like these are stacked back 3 deep. And so some of these are 3 deep. And so those are not all displayed because, I mean, they're just deep, that you got them all stacked back, but they're all in this room. So they're kind of displayed, but I'm working on it. The main reason they're not all fully displayed is just I need to buy some risers, do some other stuff with my shelving. IKEA was closed because of the shutdown, so I wasn't able to get to IKEA to buy some stuff. I just moved into this apartment a couple months ago, so I haven't set it all up yet. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got Caleb over here saying that you're giving a whole TED talk.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you see yourself collecting Funko Pops for another 5 or 10 years, or do you think at one point you're just gonna stop?
Yeah, me right now, I would say I could see myself collecting for 10 more years. Do I think my collection will stay this size? I don't think so. I think it might minimize over the next 10 years, get a little bit more refined or a little bit more specialized. But I do think that as long as Funko keeps making product that I love, I could see myself still buying more pops. I think that if I like them, there's no reason I won't be into them.
Right, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Funkos, what are some of your other favorite things to collect besides Funko?
Well, let's see here. I have a pretty large like anime statue collection down in my bedroom. So I keep those in my bedroom just because my wife can tolerate statues more than she can pops. So I have a lot of anime statues. I do have a pretty moderate manga collection and comic book collection. I mainly collect Green Lantern comic books, so I have a pretty big size. I have like pretty much every Green Lantern comic book that's come out since like Jeff Johns took over writing of the Green Lantern. So it's something like 60, 70 different books. And yeah, pretty substantial manga collection. Obviously, I collect a lot more than just pops too. I collect pretty much every Funko product. I bought pretty much every Funko soda figure they've made. So I have a whole shelf of the Funko sodas. I've recently gotten into Nindroids. I only have 7, but I have 1 more pre-ordered, and I have about 2 or 3 that are like in my cart right now. So I'll probably buy a couple more of those. Those are a little hard to sustain because they're expensive. Yeah. When you retail at 60-ish bucks, like it's a little harder to buy them more frequently. So I'll probably pick up a couple more of those over time as I kind of minimize different things. I collect the Loyal Subjects figures. Not a lot of people that I see collecting those. I have about 20 to 30 of those. And they're just like kind of tiny action figures. They come in like a small window box. They're super cool. A lot of people are into that. I just bought my first Mezco. I have a video coming soon of a close-up of the Mezco that I bought. It's really awesome. But I kind of see Mezcos as like statues too. I mean, they're technically like action figures, but yeah, that kind of stuff. But yeah, statues, manga, comics. Also, every Funko line. I have 5 stars, Dorbs. I have vinyl. I have a huge vinyl collection on my wall back here. Vinyl, the 2 packs. Just a lot of good stuff. I have a big video game collection too. I love hard. I love like video game, like not digital video games. I love buying like the actual packaging, and I collect a little bit of DVDs as well. But that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. It seems like a lot.
It's like everything. I'm sorry, AJ. I just collect everything.
I mean, like myself, I'm pretty much the same way, but for things that actually, call my name, caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like you mentioned androids, I already have 3 of them, man.
Right.
I blame Droob's vids for that.
Yeah. Droob's, Dark Stage. I feel like Dark Stage was putting some pressure, and so I just like, if Stage is gonna buy them, I'll buy them. Nakama even was buying a bunch, and I was like, man, like, let me get some of these,
Yeah. And Nakama saying over here, which Metzco?
Oh, it's okay. So I'll tell y'all here. So I bought it's the John Stewart Green Lantern Mezco. Very cool figure. I'll probably grab the Hal Jordan one as well. I think he was a PX exclusive. Just to have both of them. But really love the articulation. I've already played with it. And I'll probably have a video up of kind of all the articulation and everything pretty soon. But yeah, really, really incredible fig. They do a great job with those for under, I think it was only $80, which was, I feel like it was that's a great value for what you're getting for those figures. Mezco puts out some high quality figures for very good pricing.
No, they do. I have seen them.
Yeah. If you don't have any, AJ, you should definitely look into some of them. They only have a pretty small line of, it's not a ton, but they have some really great MCU ones that I bet you would probably dig.
Great. Another rabbit hole.
Yeah. The Thor one from the MCU is really dope.
Man. And Aztec saying that you go brazy with your collections.
I guess so. I'm just I just collect. If I see something in a store and I like it, I'll probably buy it. I mean, I'm not picky,
Yeah, true. Like, especially me, I'm going hardcore with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of cards.
Yeah, and I went to my local Target and I picked up one of these Yu-Gi-Oh cubes.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's incredible. No, yeah, I might have to get back into cards. I don't know. Seeing y'all, it's like you and Awakened Sage and Fets and Russell sometimes, Nakama. Y'all open all those cards. I'm just like, I'm like, maybe I need, and even you guys even got Dark Sage to open some Dragon Ball cards. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I guess I got to go buy some cards again.
Yeah, but Dark Sage, he hasn't done too many.
Yeah, he hasn't done too many.
Yeah. Especially, when he's got other things on the way and everything, and just too much to collect.
Right, absolutely. Have you gotten back into actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh, AJ, or are you just collecting them right now?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't really talk to people here in my local area. So, I mean, myself, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh since I was a kid.
Right.
Right now, I'm just like, just doing it to collect and everything.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, Dallas, where I'm at, there's a really big tournament scene for Yu-Gi-Oh. So, my older brother, he actually used to do. He was a what's the word? Like a referee, like a judge at Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. He used to go and actually help to judge when people had disputes about the way cards worked. He would help to judge on site. But yeah, there's a really big tournament scene here in Dallas. They usually host a regional here in Dallas every year, so maybe twice a year, even if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, so if I don't know. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in years either. So, but recently it's been calling my name. I'm like, maybe I'll play on because there's that Yu-Gi-Oh. Have you ever played the Yu-Gi-Oh app? There's one. I think it's called Duel Links.
I heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I played that a year ago, and I remember it kind of reignited I was like, maybe I want to get some more cards, but I don't know.
But yeah, like I'm telling you, like you don't really have to play, just to collect,
Right, absolutely. Maybe I'll just collect. Maybe I'll go get my favorites. I used to love Summon Skull and Gaia. Those were some of the dopest cards back in the day. Red Eyes, Black Dragon. I loved Red Eyes.
Oh, they just came out with a new booster box supporting Red Eyes.
No
A whole
way.
bunch of new Red Eyes cards.
What? Okay, see, this is the kind of I loved Red Eyes. I was a big Joey Wheeler fan, so
Yeah.
I loved Red Eyes. I was a big Red Eyes boy. That's great. That's fantastic.
I got 2 of those booster boxes on the way myself.
Oh my god. Okay, we'll open them on YouTube or on a live or something. I'll watch it. I want to see what you get. I want to see this sweet card so I can be like, I can decide whether or not I want to get some.
Yeah. Oh, and Natzik over here saying that the Tomb cards were also his favorites.
Oh, dude, tunes, the whole Duelist Kingdom, just good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, they just recently came out with one of the Toon Chaos booster boxes.
Oh, wow.
Where one of the top pulls is a Toon Black Luster Soldier.
Oh my god! See, that's some cool stuff, y'all. Woo! Y'all get me. I gotta get my wallet out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to your collection, does your wife, your family approve of it? Or they're just like, why are you buying this? You're not a kid.
Right. My wife, I think it's grown on her. When I first started, I think she was worried that I would like not spend appropriately, which makes sense. She has every right to. We were married, so she was like, oh, Jerry, like, make sure you don't overspend. Da, da, da. But once she's kind of realized that I know how to manage my money, I think that's when she was like, she became less worried about it. When it was like, oh, he's not having any issues with anything else. He knows how to manage his money. And then as she kind of went on more hunts and stuff with me, I think she got a little more excited about some of the pops, right? So like, the more I would get her out and get her to see some of them, she has a small collection. So she has a Lord of the Rings collection of pops, and she has Saga, the comic book, Funko Pops, and some Overwatch pops, because those are some of her favorite. She loves Lord of the Rings. She loves the comic book Saga. She's read the whole thing. She has all the books. And she loves Overwatch. We loved Overwatch. We don't play it as much anymore, but we both played a lot of it when it first came out. So Overwatch still kind of has that nostalgia for her. So she's gotten a couple different sets. And I think that since getting a little more into it, she's been more hype about it. Now, my family, it's a bit of a different situation. I think my mom and dad are a bit confused. They're like, oh, Jerry, you're an adult now, and you just buy toys.
Yeah.
And my brothers kind of get me a little. My brothers, they could be. I don't know if you have brothers or anything, AJ, but like I have
one older brother. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got 2 older brothers and 2 little brothers, and so my older brother and my 2 little brothers, they kind of ream me a little bit. They're like, Jerry, what the heck are you? They're like, I think a lot of them kind of get on to me for it because they're just like, Jerry, make sure you're saving your money, blah blah blah, and they just think. They just don't like him as much. They think they look ugly. I have one little brother who he actually buys a couple, and he's done some stuff for me and helps me get some like chases sometimes. He'll go wait in line for me or whatever that might be. So he's a little more receptive. The other 2, they tried it a little bit, but then they just were like, this is not my thing. So they bailed. They have 1 or 2. They both have like a couple of like their favorites. But they are just like, Jerry, you do you, we'll do us. But so it's one of those things. And yeah, I think my dad just is confused. He just is like, he's like, son, what are you doing? I got so many pops. But he's luckily, I'm really lucky that my family, even if they might kind of ream me or like get into me a little bit, they love me and take care of it. Like my family's very supportive. And I think they're just really good people. So it's like, no matter how much I can be upset with them, I'm lucky my mom and dad especially have just been they love me a lot and they take care of me as best they can. Even though there's 7 of us and we have a big family and don't come from the most money really, kind of a lower income background, it doesn't mean that they don't show that they care and like that they really wanted to let me do what I love. And they know that if I love something, I'm the type of person that just kind of overdoes it sometimes. So it's just the way it is. But yeah, so I'm lucky that they love me, but are they super supportive? Not really. But my wife is always going to be supportive because she's the best person in the world. So I think she's probably watching. So she probably knows. She's probably like, yeah, I am the best person. No, she is.
Yeah. Before we continue, Nakama is saying that he blames me because he got 2 of the small boxes from the new booster boxes.
Look, AJ, see, okay, you blame him. You know, it's his fault he got us into Ninjoroids, but you got him into the cards.
And then Aztec, yeah, definitely a lot of nostalgia memories.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also put his wife was like at first, and after a bit she started to love hunting with him, and then find a nice little Disney collection for his daughter. That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, see, and I think that's what it is it's like once you kind of see the fun in it, I think you get a little more excited about it. And that took my wife a little bit of time too. And then I think she's seen the fun in it and how much joy I kind of get out of it. I think that has made her like more happy about it, right? She's like, you know, if Jerry loves this, like I'm gonna love it too. And did you see that thing going around, AJ? The guy who like left his wife over his Funko Pops. It like went
yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, oh my! I was like, that's bad. I was like, that's rough. I think they need to work out some other issues. But I was like, I'm just lucky my wife's not that ain't happening to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and speaking of your wife, she is here.
See, there we go. She's in another room somewhere. I told her what I was doing. So
yeah, and then we got Rob Molina. What's up, bro? And we also got Dark Sage in here.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Dark Sage.
What up, bros? Yeah. And then Rob's over here saying wives are the only reason grown men can enjoy the toy collecting hobby.
Right. Very true, right? That's the truth.
Yeah. Now, I think I pretty much know, but like when it comes to Funko Pops, like, you know, what's your favorite line to collect? Like your top favorite line?
Okay, so my absolute biggest part of my collection is animation. So both anime and cartoons, that's my biggest sets of stuff. And you can kind of see it obviously in the background here. This whole shelf, top to bottom, is all anime. And then it actually flows over into some of these other shelves. What you'll see my 2 other biggest sets are DC and Marvel. And that just comes from being a comic book kid. You know, I grew up with both DC and Marvel all over my life. My dad, he collected comic books way back in the 70s. So, you know, comic books have just been a big part of my history and my growing up. So I obviously DC and Marvel. And then the rest of them, I don't really have much outside of those 3 categories other than animation, DC, and Marvel. I have a couple TV shows that I really like, a couple movies that I really like, but those collections are much smaller. You know, I don't really do Star Wars. I don't really do some of the other big sets. I have a couple video games, like nostalgic games, but yeah, DC, Marvel, and anime. And at the end of the day, I think anime is the one that's like the most like close to me, right? So like anime is like my I don't know how to put it, but like anime has kind of been my like thing, you know, since I was little. I've always loved anime. I love just the art of it. I love the history, the culture of it. I've researched anime since I was a little kid, and I remember I first started watching subtitled anime when I was like probably like 10 years old. And so like I've been watching, you know, anime in Japanese for forever and ever. And I took Japanese in college. You know, this was all a part of it. And it's so anime is just really dear to me. And I think that the stories and the characters from anime have just had a long like impact on my life and who I am. So I hold my anime collection probably the dearest to me. It's probably the closest to me, with Marvel and DC also being very important because I really look up to superheroes. Superheroes are the biggest influence in my life. You know, when it comes to ethics and morality, they're the people that I look to. So it's like superheroes are important, but that's me.
No, definitely. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I was going to mention to you when you were speaking about your wife and your family is supporting you and your collection. Mm-hmm. To me, it's funny when my brother, he's older, he's like almost 40. Every time he comes into my room, when he comes over, he always goes, your collection is just so insane. Yeah. But he's a collector himself as well. And you should see his house, like all over. He has like his own office filled with nothing but toys, collectibles. Like, and you're calling me insane. My collection is look at yours.
You better tell him to chill. I'm like, but that's dope. That's awesome that he has such a cool collection. Now I'm like curious. I'm like, AJ, you got to go do a YouTube video on his collection or something.
Oh,
You- yeah.
he's actually a vlogger on this. He has his own channel,
Oh,
and he
really?
actually did a video on the toy room. I'll probably will share it. Send you the link and everything.
That's awesome. Well, that's funny that he comes in and says you're. I it, I have the set. My older brother. So he gets on to me for my pop collection, but he is like a super gamer. So like he loves video games, and he specifically loves a phone game called Final Fantasy Brave Exvius,
Hmm.
and he gets on to me for spending a lot of money, but he has put in a lot of money into his phone game that he loves, which he just collects characters in the game.
Right.
I'm like, boy, you better chill on that. And he has nerd. I mean, he's the reason I'm nerdy to begin with, right? Like, if my older brother wasn't into nerdy stuff, like I don't know how much I would. My dad and my older brother, they were big nerds. So like, without them being a big influence on me, I don't know how much I would have been into it. So I see that, and that's super cool that your brother, even though he acts, your collection's insane, but that's cool that he has a collection too.
Yeah, but like my older sister, she's like, why do you have these toys? And I'm like, they're not toys. Toys are meant to be played with. These are collectibles. They're not meant to be played with.
It says it right on the box, right? This is not
Exactly. They do.
Come on, toy.
And my parents, they call them dolls.
Oh my god, that's that's the worst. That's when you know it. You gotta stand your ground, AJ. Like, they're not dolls. They're not dolls.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Aztecs over here saying, might have not been the biggest fan favorite, but did you guys ever watch the the anime?
Oh yes, absolutely. He had a kendama toy as his like weapon, and it had like a swirly mustache, and he would. It was like a fantasy anime, so it was like an anime that had it was like a fantasy aspect. I think it might have been kind of an isekai, where like the kid like woke up in another world, if I'm remembering. I remember a lot of like maybe like a fighting tournament in there too. But yeah, absolutely. I watched it when I was a kid on it was on like Toonami's like website that they did or something. Yeah, that's a good throwback.
Yeah. And he's also saying that it'd be cool to have those pops.
Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah, that'd be really. I would definitely. Nostalgia drives my pop purchases. So if they made those, I'd buy them.
Yeah. When it comes to like stores, websites, what are some of your favorite places to buy from?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't think about that very much, but I used to be like the biggest Hot Topic stan. Like I care about my local Hot Topic a lot. They have really nice employees. They've been really kind to me. But Hot Topic's business decision to start sending Funko Pops in bags is one of the things that has made me the most angry ever. Like I hate getting pops in bags. There's no reason to not just put them in a damn box. Sorry if I curse on this, AJ, but I said box. I was like, just put them in a box. Send them in a box. I don't know why we're putting Funko Pops in bags. So that makes me really pissed. But so I used to be all on board to that. So I think now I've kind of shifted a little bit. When it comes to online retailers, I think I mainly mess with recently a new retailer called Shop Pop Online. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're small. They've only been around for like a year. But they've done a lot of great customer service overall. And I think that's a huge respect to them, because when you are a new business and your customer service is like way up there, then you've earned my like support, So like a lot of these new businesses will show up. They'll come in overnight. People will get ransacked for their money. They'll leave them high and dry and then not help on the customer service end. So Shop Pop has not done that. They have been the most customer service driven company I've ever dealt with when it comes to Funko Pops. So I can't support them. Like, genuinely, I can't support them enough. But when it comes to like basic retail stores, I still do like Hot Topic. I like Box Lunch. I like GameStop. GameStop is just dying slowly. So like, I don't know what to do about that. But like, I like all those shops. Other online retailers, I like Arconia. They do a good job. Big Bad Toy Store, another really good retailer. What else do I order from? Chalice is fine. I did a bunch of videos on Chalice mystery boxes on my YouTube. So like, I wasn't happy with my pools, but they're good. They know how to ship Funko Pops. So does Shumi. They know how to ship Funko Pops really well. But yeah, so I guess that's not a great answer because I gave you a bunch of them. But
no, you're good. You're good.
I order from a lot of websites. I think there's only a couple websites that I would say like avoid. Like I've stopped ordering from Box Lunch and Hot Topic online because I just don't like the risk of like getting my pops in a bag. Like I don't like that risk. Walmart has the worst shipping in the world. I always ship to store with Walmart. Amazon, Amazon lately with their exclusives, they'll ship them well. Everything else, it's complete like crapshoot. And that goes with all collectibles. Like they just don't care about Amazon, Walmart. They just don't care about collectibles at the end of the day.
Right.
It's just such a small part of their business. But that's where I'm at. Big up to Shop Pop Online though. So if you're hearing this and you haven't ordered from Shop Pop before, they're fantastic. They really take care of collectors and they have amazing customer service.
Before we continue, we got Rob over here saying that he loved your video on the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
With every word you so eloquently and so passionately expressing your speech. The respect that he has for you grew exponentially. You articulate perfect.
Wow. Rob, I'm so grateful for that. And, that video was really personal to me. And I think that the whole movement and everything that's been going on in the world has been a lot. It's been a lot to take in. And I've been very humbled by the response because, I did that because I just wanted to show that we can't be silent anymore. Like we got to start talking about this because a lot of our Black friends and Black family are dealing with some of the most indignant and difficult times that they've dealt with in a long time. And I think that silence is just not the answer right now. So it's been a big up, and I'm grateful that I could say anything and that anyone listened. So I think that's what it comes down to. And it's just to stand up for those that I have so many friends in this community specifically that are Black creators and that are Black collectors and that have interacted with me for the last 2 years. And I can't say it enough how disrespectful it was for some of these other collectors, the way that they treated some of their fans. So I can't say it enough. And I just urge everyone to vote in November and to do, if anyone's out there, vote and get engaged and don't let movements like this just pass over, So thank you, Rob. That means a lot, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, Jerry. That video you made was very powerful and everything. And like you said, we can't be silent. Black lives do matter, man. Black lives can't matter until all lives matter. They have to matter before,
Yes, absolutely, AJ. And so, yeah, it's really big. And I'm just happy to have such a nice group of collectors that I've stayed connected with and been able to continue to connect with from here on out. So, and I know that those people are wholesome and they know what they are about and they know what they're doing. So we're lucky, AJ. We're lucky to have some of our friends in this community.
I definitely, because, like you mentioned, a lot of them became like, brothers of mine,
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dark Sage, Lazy You, Funko Frenzy,
Absolutely.
Funko Cobb, a lot of them became like brothers of mine, and nothing but the respect for them and everyone else in this world.
Absolutely, AJ. Absolutely.
Definitely. Now, when you go on the hunt when you go on the hunt, are you specifically looking for something, or do you like just browse around and like see what caught your eye? Do you just grab it?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I hunt a lot. I love hunting. There's something about like getting out and like just looking at toys for me. Unfortunately, obviously, the last 3 or 4 months, we haven't been able to get out very much, just with COVID and everything. So unfortunate. But when I do go out, it's usually to browse. It's usually just to double check. If you go out at certain times, you can usually have a higher chance of maybe finding some of things getting stocked up, some newer collectibles maybe that you don't want to miss out on. Or also sometimes you get lucky and you find that chase or you find that cool piece. I really love going to secondhand shops where you have no idea what you're going to walk into. You walk in and it's like someone may have just sold their entire anime collection and it all just got priced out and put on the shelf. And all of a sudden you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh. Those are the hunts that really blow my mind when I'm like, oh my God, like I just found like a gold mine over here, Those are always awesome. But yeah, I think every time when I go out, there's usually like an underlying reason. You know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go out to pick up the new Kirishima pop or something, right? So I'm gonna go get that. But while I'm out, I'm gonna stop at 2 more stores and just see what they have. And maybe I won't find anything along the way. Maybe I will. But it's usually like it's motivated by a new release or something like that, and then I find everything else along the way. But a very good question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see. Out of everything you have, your pops, your figures, your statues, how many would you say you have in total?
In total? Oh,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's probably okay. So if there's 1,000 pops, I think that I've probably got over 500 of other things, 500 to 600 other things. So it's probably closer to 1,600 if I had to guess across all of it. Just between statues, mystery minis, sodas, pocket pops, Pez, statues. I mean, just everything combined. Yeah, it's probably close to 1,600 if I were to guess. And that number legitimately probably grows every day. I think I buy something new almost every day.
Yeah. Same way. Yeah. Before we continue, we're gonna say that Dark Sage is back.
Oh.
And then we got Funko Bros, David McFly. What's up, bro? Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, yeah, Dark Sage and I are trying to link up and do another video together because we live right by each other. And I love hanging out with Chase. He's a great guy. And if we need to link up, we just talked about something. We were just talking just this weekend about potentially getting out, but we didn't do it. But I might still get out tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'll hit him up. But Chase and I hopefully will do some more stuff together because I love hanging out with Chase. One of the best guys I've met through collecting, and just a good friend, and also just someone he literally lives, like I said, he's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from where I live. So it's always easy for us to link up. If you saw, went to the Dallas Vintage Toys together. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. Me personally, I love when collectors link up. They do big collaborations and everything, and that's always a good time. To be honest, I kind of wish myself I had like some close friends here that collect, but me don't really have any.
Right. Well, hopefully it's only a matter of time, AJ. I think you'll find some good people out there, right?
I mean, I don't really get out too much. Like, me, I keep my circle small. I only have like a few people in it. And like to them, they don't know what Funko Pops are. I remember I had one friend calling them popsicles.
Oh my God. Like, That's great, man. Well, whether it happens, the great thing is maybe in the future, you can go to a con or something like that. Maybe we can all link up at some point. I think that's one of my dreams. I want to get out there to, I want to get to San Diego Comic-Con. That's one of my dream conventions at one point in time. I really want to get over to the West Coast sometime soon, So if I'm ever out and close to you, we will have to link up. I will make it my duty, AJ, to be there.
Definitely. Like, I was actually talking with a friend that I met not that long ago, it's like a year ago, and me and him, we were talking about going to San Diego Comic-Con this year until the freaking COVID happened.
Yep. Yeah. Me and my wife, we had tickets to Comic-Con this year, so we had tickets for Thursday and Sunday. That's all we were able to get because the speed at which they sell out. But we had tickets for Thursday and Sunday. But we're lucky that this year they're letting the tickets roll over. So if you had tickets to this year, you get to go next year. So if everything works out, I'll be there next year. That's the plan. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, and I'll try to get tickets too whenever they announce them. So
you better make it happen, AJ.
Hopefully next year.
I'm about to say, are you driving distance from San Diego, or how is that like?
I'm far? I think like 6 hours away from San Diego.
Still pretty far though, but it's not. It's like I'm like 30 hours or whatever.
Yeah. Dark Sage was saying that he wants to link up with you tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, let's link. Hey, Chase, hit me on. I mean, I know we were already texting on Instagram earlier, but let's.
We got Davey over here that his wife calls them baby dolls.
Oh my god, baby dolls. That's fantastic.
Oh man. Now, I know, like you said, you had like 7 Androids and a few like pre-order and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thing that attracted to you about the Androids?
Yeah, I think that okay, so you know that I'm a big anime guy, and that's really what it is. They have a better selection of anime characters than Funko Pops do. And I think that's really what brought me into them, because I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, they've got, this guy and this guy, characters from shows that don't. JoJo's doesn't even have Funko Pops yet, and they have like Nindroids have like there's like 10 of them, like 15, so many Nindroids of JoJo's characters. And I think that's what makes me hype. When I look at the Nindroids, I'm like, oh my gosh, they got all the good, like all the anime characters that Funko doesn't have. And then once I got them in hand, just they're just so much fun. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like posability, just the different pieces. They're just a ton of fun. So it's got to be that anime selection though. That's what got me into Nindroids.
Right. Now, do you kind of regret them, especially that they're pretty much expensive?
Come on, I can't regret. I do. I think that once you get down that rabbit hole and you start, it's like every day I'm looking at new Nindroids and I'm like, am I going to pay $60 more for one of these things? I'm like, yes, I am. So I just, I mean, it is that thing where it's like, you have to be more just managing your money and knowing that, like, yes, okay, I can only buy 1 or 2 Nindroids this month if I want to still buy the pops and other stuff I want to buy, or I can only buy 1 this next month or something. You have to regulate it a little more, because just knowing each one is going to be so much. But so I don't regret it, because I like them a lot, but I do know that it's going to be a different type of collecting than Funko Pops, where it's like I can go out and buy 5 new pops for $30 sometimes, and have no issue of that. But so it's a different type of collecting for sure.
Now, if we didn't have these responsibilities, we would be buying everything that we want.
Literally everything. Yeah, absolutely. I have shelves. My whole everything.
Yeah. Now, you had mentioned Dark Sage is like your brother. Like, was he like one of the first people you have met when you came on the scene?
Yeah, what's cool. So I started. This is wild. So when I first started collecting, I actually lived in Ohio. I'm born and raised in Oklahoma. That's where I grew up, and then I moved to Ohio for a job. And so when I was in Ohio, I actually met some guys up there before I even really got into the scene, like virtually. You know what I mean? So I just met some people like locally that they were kind of the first people I connected with on Funko Pops, because before that I only knew a couple like friends from high school or college that were just buddies of mine that had pops. But Sage is definitely one of the first people when I moved to Dallas that I started following and connecting with, and luckily we were introduced to each other through the Funko Collector Society, and that's just a group we both chose to be a part of individually. Happened to meet through that, and I was like, oh, we're both in Dallas. So that's when I definitely started checking out all of his videos and being engaged and kind of connecting with him. And then we first met in person. This was crazy. We both ended up in line at Hot Topic for Emerald City Comic Con this year. And I remember I was waiting in line and I see him walking up and we like make eye contact and he's like, Jerry's got pops? And I was like, Dark Sage? And he was like, yeah. And so we got to chat in that morning. And I think since then we've been able to stay connected just because, once we got to meet in person and stuff, like it was really cool, kind of a cool moment. So that was really good. But yeah, I have a lot of buddies from back in Ohio that I still stay connected with just because, they were kind of the first people I met when I first started. And now I've got buddies from, I feel like I almost know someone from every state that collects pops, wherever I might travel in the future. Hopefully there's someone I can connect with. And it's all because of, to be honest, it's all because of Instagram. Like through Instagram and through YouTube, I was able to connect with so many people that collect the stuff that I do. So very cool.
Right. Before we continue, I want to say, what's up, Droops Vids? Droops is right here in the building.
Droobs. What's up, Droobs?
And then Rob over here is saying that he sold a lot of Funko Pops to get the Jotaro Nendroid.
What? I would love to have Jotaro as an Nendroid, but I know he's worth a lot. His value's gone up a bit. I don't know a ton about Nendroid values, so I don't know how much it went up, but I know that it's not retail anymore. So, mad props to you, Rob, for selling off some pops for that sick Nendroid. I saw your video on it. It was very good, but I would love to have that Nendroid.
Would you pretty much do the same, sell like a portion of your Funko Pops to get like a Grail, whatever, if it's a Funko Pop Grail or like a high valued Nendroid?
Bro,
or anything else,
I pretty much have I do Mercari and eBay and local sales all the time to help fund when I buy something bigger. I'm a little more frugal, to be honest. I think I'm a frugal collector. I try to find deals. I try to cut deals. I try to get a deal on stuff. But so like, Tenya is my favorite My Hero. He's one of my favorite anime characters of all time. But I don't own the OG Tenya because my conscience just can't let me spend $100 on a Funko Pop. Like that's the kind of stuff that's like hard for me to like bargain with. So I've been trying to. So I told my wife, I was like, I'll sell enough to make $100 and then maybe I'll buy it. I'll feel more comfortable doing that. So yeah, that's what I've been doing lately is actually trying to get rid of some of my stuff to buy a couple more of the ones I really, really want. It took me some time to do that because I think at first I just wanted to have a massive collection. But now I've started to realize that there's a couple that I really want and a bunch that I bought that I didn't really want. So yeah.
Right. Like myself, I was talking to Dark Sage yesterday, the other day, that I was talking to him that I don't know, myself, I'm kind of getting tired with the Funko Pops, and I think myself, I'm just afraid to cut down.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was telling me that I should just like, sell the ones to get like a Grail.
Mm-hmm. Do it. Yeah. I mean, do it. I've started doing it. I mean, it's worth it. I think at the end of the day to get the ones that are going to have the most like personal meaning to you, right? Like to me, like having some of the most important characters, it's better than having a bunch of characters that I only kind of care about or to complete a set,
Yeah, like to me, as Ghost Rider, he's one of my favorites.
Yes.
And I don't know, I would love to get that Ghost Rider metallic Funko Pop. Not gonna lie.
So sick, AJ. You got to get. I am fully supportive. You should do it. Sell some pops. Get that metallic Ghost Rider. That's so sick.
Yeah, really, really thinking about it really hard and everything.
Good.
Yeah. You mentioned you always hunt all the time, but like when you go on the hunt and you see a pop or like any figure, do you just go to yourself, okay, I'll pick that up later, but then you don't? Do you regret not buying it at first?
Oh, AJ, I have so many regret stories. I feel like my whole heart is full of regret right now. I remember I saw Hollow Ichigo, in a store. This was literally like 4 months ago. And Hollow Ichigo is all of a sudden worth like $500 or something. I have no freaking idea. I saw it in a local store for $80. It was $80. And that was about what it was at PPG at that time. And I remember I picked it up and I was like, I've got $80 to spend. I was like, I might as well finish my Bleach set. This was before the hype. Everyone was getting hype about because the anime's coming back. And I literally, I don't know what stopped me. I was just like, I think I'll come grab it later maybe, or I'll wait for a deal. Because, the store that I was at, they have regular like deals on used toys. So I was like, maybe I'll come back for it later. And then literally I remember I put it back like the next week, that store like shut down. And I waited, for like 2 months, and I called them like the morning that they reopened, and someone had bought it during that like 1 week beforehand. So someone had already bought Hollow Ichigo. I was so sad. That was like one of my biggest regrets. I'll never forget. I held Tenya. I have a picture of Tenya. I took it at a used toy store. He was only $45 at this point in time. I took a picture of it, and I was like, I should grab this. And I remember I put it back because I had pre-ordered one on a website that thought they were going to get a restock of it. Mm-hmm. So I thought I was going to get it for $10. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to spend 45 if I'm going to get it for 10. And literally, like the next day, the pre-order got canceled. It was announced he was vaulted, and I like ran back to the toy store. It was gone, obviously, and it's been like 100+ ever since. Big regret. So yes, it's happened multiple times, and I think it's like I'm at the point where usually now, if it's something I really want, I just buy it. You know, like I usually have enough management of my funds to be able to pick stuff up if I really want it. So I've kind of been able to do that. And then if later down the line I realize I didn't want it that bad, I sell it. I get rid of it, whatever it is. I take the L. But yeah, I just go for it now.
No, yeah, definitely. Like, I was about to tell you right now, Dark Sage, that like about the 10 one.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight Dark Sage. He's got all the he bought all the One Piece grails and like hasn't even watched like he's watched like only 100 episodes a month. If he ever sells his stuff, I better get first dibs. That's what I keep telling him. I'm like, if you ever sell your stuff, I get first dibs, Chase, because I feel like I missed out because Droobs sold a bunch of his pops, and by the time I messaged Droobs, all the stuff I wanted, he'd already sold it, and I was like, dang it. I was like, shoot. But yeah, Chase has a lot of great grails. He's been doing it a little bit longer than I have, so he was able to get a lot at retail. But he also, you know, he paid a buku money for his Planet Arlia Vegeta. He still paid buku money for that. So I respect the hell out of him because that tenacity for sure.
Yeah, Feds, that guy, he's still talking about that one.
Oh,
wanted to get it.
Yeah. Oh, Fets, he needs to just Fets. If you listen to this, you better just go for it. Get Arlia Vegeta. Just lock it down. It's not ever going to go down in price at this point. It's up there now.
Yeah, and Dark Sage said, "Yeah, you got first dibs."
Yeah, see, that's what I like to hear, Chase. That's what I like to see.
And speaking of Feds, here he is.
Oh, Fets, the boy. Fets, buy a Planet Arlia Vegeta.
Yeah, and Dark Sage just said 3,000.
Yeah, jeez, that's. That's too much. That's
insane.
That's a lot.
You would have to sell an arm and a leg and just to get it.
That's like rent. You know what I mean? Like that's like rent from like I can't like I'm like that's a lot of money to just not have at one time. You know, you have to save up a little bit for that one.
Yeah, Dark Sage just telling him to sell all those Spider-Man ones.
Oh, is he really? That's pretty interesting.
Fed's over here saying that you just told me Fed's had first dibs, Dark Sage.
Okay, yeah, Fed's can have first dibs on Arlia. I don't want Arlia. That's all his. As long as I got dibs on some of his other stuff, like Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, I love Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't get why they always make the Scott Pilgrim pops always hard to get.
I don't know, man. Me too. I hate it. But luckily, some of them have not like crept too much. A couple of the piece counted ones, you know, they went way up in value. Well, way up, but they're still around 100. You know, luckily. But I think that it's just because it's a smaller fan base, probably. But who knows?
Yeah, Chase is over here saying that you got first dibs on everything else.
Perfect.
I think he loves you way more than he loves Feds.
Yeah, we both love Feds. We love Feds. He's a good guy.
Yeah. We all love you, Feds. Nothing but love. Oh, he wants you to tell Feds about JoJo.
Hey, Feds. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one of the greatest anime series ever created, and you are sleeping on it if you do not watch it. You need to watch JoJo's yesterday. You need to have already watched. You need to start now, and you will not be disappointed. It is amazing. Beginning to end, it's fantastic. So there you go. There's my shout out to that. JoJo's is one of my favorite animes of all time. So
yeah, and I was about to ask you that. You know, when it comes to when you watch anime shows, like what's your top 3 or top 5?
Woo! Okay, so I'll do top 5-ish, or I'll do top 3, and then I'll do a couple like special So my top 3 anime, and you got to remember this because like people disrespect me for these choices because they're very normie, as people in the anime community would say, which pretty much just means like they're big popular animes, right? They're not animes that are like niche or like, these are animes that are super popular. The reason they're my favorite is because they hold a lot of nostalgia for me. They're a lot of fun. They're things that I can always watch over and over again. And they are just shows that have like had a important impact on like my childhood. So the first one in my top anime of all time is One Piece. So if you know Nakama's a big One Piece stan. I'm a huge One Piece fan. I have seen every episode. I read every chapter of the manga. I am up to date on One Piece constantly and consistently. One Piece has been with me since I was in middle school. So like, if you can imagine that, like I've been reading One Piece since I was freaking 12 years old or whatever. So like, that is a crazy thing to say out loud. And it's like, when I started it, I never would imagine that my wife and I would like watch it every week. Like now she's watched all of it. And like, we watch the new episodes together on Sundays. Like that's a really important part of me. So like One Piece is huge. If people who don't give One Piece a chance, I understand it's really long, but it is one of the coolest and just the most animated and heartfelt anime out there. I think it's just a lot of fun. So One Piece is the number 1. Yu Yu Hakusho is the number 2. I am a Yu Yu Hakusho kid. I used to stay up late at night to record it on VHS when it got moved to the 4 a.m. time slot. I've always loved Yu Yu Hakusho. I think the characters are really vibrant. The author does a great job with it. Yu Yu Hakusho is one of my like long-standing favorite series of all time. And then lastly, people kind of don't know about this one as much, but it's a show called Saint Seiya. And it's an anime about like Constellation. It's like they're kind of like Power Rangers, but they have like knight armor that they put on, and they get into like fights. It's a little bit basic to say the least. The main like first arc is kind of like Save the Princess arc, but it's still a really fun show, and it's one of those ones that I'll always remember because when Netflix first debuted, I rented all of the DVDs on Netflix, and they would like send them to you in the mail. So I used to like get the Netflix DVDs like in the mail and like watch the show with my brothers like every time we get a new DVD in. And that's like a really big memory for me and like something that's really important to me. And so I've always stayed with the show. I love the creator of the show. There's tons of spinoffs. It's like wildly popular in Spain for some reason. So if you've seen Saint Seiya, it's just a really, really great anime series. But the other shout outs to me are Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is just one of the greatest anime series of all time, just unquestionably. Even if it's a little bit normie, it is totally one of the best anime of all time. And then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because JoJo's is just such a bombastic and artful piece of media that it's just very creative. There's not really a show out there like JoJo's that's ever been existent. And I think that the long-standing power of it has just been fantastic. I could talk about anime all day, AJ. So if you get me down this route, I'm gonna get stuck. So we'll stop it there. That's my 5.
No, that's great to hear. I'm not gonna lie, me, when it comes to anime, I stick with the simple, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Right.
But like when you talk about it, say Dark Sage, Nakama, Rob, I mean, it always interests to me that how you speak about it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Absolutely.
It just makes it seem that okay, maybe one day I'll watch it and get into it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's never too late. I have a buddy in college. He had never seen anime before. Okay, well he knew about it, right? He knew what they were, so on and so forth. He was 20 something years old, 21. And I remember I showed him JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This was his first anime. He watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and now he watches more anime like every season than like almost I do. Like he is like binging anime constantly. And he's fallen in love with it. He loves the art form. So it's never too late, AJ. And yeah, like Pokemon and Dragon Ball, and those are the gateways. Like we all got into anime the same way, I think. It's just we had the opportunity to explore it for other reasons, So yeah, we love it. I love talking to the homies about anime. I could do it all day.
Yeah, Chase just said, "I need y'all to be like my sage brethren, awakened."
Yes, awaken, awaken. Watch JoJo's.
That's a good pun. That's a good pun, Dark Sage. That's a good one.
I like it. I like it.
Rob is telling Nakama that put some respect on JoJo's name.
What? Does Nakama not watch JoJo's?
Well, I think he said, I think, yeah, Nakama said he's been on season 1 for like 2 years.
Nakama, no, bro. Come on, we need to get it together.
If it's just told you you're a real one, Dark, because Dark Rage still sleep.
Yeah, he do.
Now,
mm-hmm.
So your wife is like you, right? You know, she collects a little and then into anime. Is that like one of the things that that attracted to you about her?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. My wife is the biggest nerd I know. She plays more video game. Okay, so like how like there's the stereotypical like the guy games too much and the girl doesn't. I'm the exact opposite. I'm always wanting to like go out and shop, and she's always like, Jerry, I just want to play video games and like I just want to stay at home. She binges video games like no tomorrow. She has replayed The Witcher 3 twice. Or she replayed it once. She played it through once and played it through another time. She plays Skyrim. She plays every like open world game. She loves God of War. She has she has all the God of War Funko Pops too. And she has some Skyrim ones. I forgot about that. But she loves God of War. She's played it through. She rewatches it over and over again. My wife is such a beautiful nerd, and that's a big part of what we connected on. I think when we first met. And I think that part of it is like she always tells me like when we met, it kind of reignited her passion in nerddom. Because when she was a kid, she was like really into nerdy stuff. She even has like kind of embarrassing pictures of her when she was like in middle school. She like dressed up as Sasuke from like Naruto, and like went to a convention. So but she kind of like grew out of it, right? And then I think that when we met, like we kind of got to be like nerdy together, and that was a really great thing. So like we've been together for over 7 years now. So we met and we dated for about 4.5 years before we got engaged and got married at about 5 years. And so we've been married now for 2. So my wife and I, we love everything nerdy, and I think that it's a big part of us. And we love going to conventions together. We love going to toy shows together. That's literally like a part of our relationship. And I'm really grateful that I met someone who is as loving and caring about the things that I love and care about. And I think that I couldn't see myself with anyone else. So she's a really special person. So
well, that's beautifully said.
Yeah.
She's over here saying that you're not exaggerating.
Mm.
And Dark Sage that she's the GOAT for liking God of War.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Now Chase has gotten to meet her briefly because she does come with me sometimes when we go out. So
And Nakama's always saying that his wife prefers anime than him.
Yeah, that's honestly sometimes Nakama. I think my wife it's like video games, and then it's like Jerry's like a little bit below. She loves video games. She's a big gamer.
Now, is she like a hardcore gamer? Games like every single day. Like
Yeah, I would say she's constantly playing video games. I mean, she is a legitimate like hardcore gamer. I have no hesitation saying that she is a actual serious gamer. She plays everything under the sun and is just really, really talented at it as well. And I keep telling her that she should set up like a Twitch stream or something, but we just haven't set it all up yet so that she could do that. But she loves playing video games and she's really good at them, and she kicks my ass at most of them, except for fighting games, which I don't know why, but I always have the upper hand there. It's probably because that's like the one I love fighting games. So like, Tekken, Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, King of Fighters. I've been playing fighting games since I was a little kid. Those are like my favorite. Even Smash Brothers. I'm not as good at Smash Brothers as some people, but I do love Super Smash Brothers. But yeah, those are the only time I have the upper hand. Everything else she'll beat me at.
Right. Now, I just have the question. Where is it? Where is it? it comes to videos,
Mm-hmm.
do you pretty much do everything that you receive from the mail, everything you order, or do you just like hold it off and like maybe just do an Instagram post on it and everything?
Yeah. And so I've only recently, so I made my YouTube page like 2 years ago. And I think when I first started it, I really wanted it to be like everything. I wanted to post like everything on there. But I realized really quickly that I'm terrible at video editing. Like, video editing is like so hard for me. So I ended up like, I think I posted like 3 or 4 videos like way back in like late 2018. And then I kind of took a break from it and I stopped posting. I think I only posted like 2 videos all throughout 2019. And so I kind of took a break from it over 2019. And I was like, maybe I don't want to do this because it was just hard for me. But then as of 2020, the beginning of this year, I kind of made it a goal. I said, I'm going to learn video editing software better. I was like, I want to be better at this. And not for any reason other than to like just like increase my skills, honestly. I was just like, I think I want to learn this a little bit better. So ever since January, that was like kind of one of my goals. So since January, I posted something like 20, 30 videos, something like that. And that's been super fun for me because I've been able to just re-engage and like really produce content that I'm more proud of, I guess. Because, I've just been teaching myself all the video software and stuff. But I definitely don't post everything that I buy, if that makes any sense. Like, I try to pick YouTube videos that I think are going to be either like fun or creative or something that I think might be a little different. I do feel like sometimes the Funko community, and you'll hear Bearded Pop Hunter say this a lot, the Funko community on YouTube can get a little stale sometimes because, you'll open up your subscriber tab and all the 50 people you're subscribed to all posted like the Marvel Blacklight video. And I did one. I did a Marvel Blacklight video just because I was having fun that morning and I happened to film it. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to throw it up, But for a lot of people, when you're getting bogged down by every YouTuber doing the same exact Funko Pop, it becomes a little hard to like discern like what content you actually want to engage with. And you kind of have to make choices, right? I'd rather be able to make content, I think, at the end of the day that is a little more catered. So that way, when someone sees a new video from Jerry, maybe it's a video that they might actually, that's a little different, and they might go, oh, I want to see that because it's a little different. So I think that's my end goal. I do think that I still fall into some of the traps that every Funko YouTuber does, where it's like mystery boxes, unboxings, hauls. So I've been trying to think more and more about how can I diversify that and make something a little, now that I've done like about 30 videos over the last, 6 months, I've been trying to diversify that a little bit. But it's hard. It's really hard with what we do because it's just hard. I mean, we want people to watch. We want to try to engage people, but we also just want to have fun. And I think that's the hard part, right? Like, I have a lot of fun opening up my unboxings, but whether or not everyone's going to want to engage with that, I don't know. So I try to make it a little more diversified. I feel like Instagram sees everything I pick up, if that makes any sense. So like, if I pick up new pops, I'll post it on Instagram. I'll put it in my story on Instagram. I'll put it in my on a post. I try to post almost every day on Instagram, just because I feel like I can interact with people a little bit more intimately on there. And I built a little bit of a bigger following over on my Instagram page. I think that's been helpful to just connect with people on. So I have every intention of making my YouTube very streamlined, so that way you're not seeing daily videos of me talking about every single Funko thing ever. I want it to be a little bit more fun content, focused content that I love to do. So we'll see. But yeah, that's a good question, AJ. That was good.
Yeah, thanks. Now, to you, what was the main inspiration to do a YouTube channel?
Oh yeah. My first experience with YouTube I've been watching YouTube since Smosh, 2006 or whatever. I've always been on YouTube. And I think in the past I've started smaller. I think I have 2 old channels that were just like crap channels. You know what I mean? Like uploads of like my family goofing off and stuff like that. But so when I sat down to really make like a personal channel about something I liked, this was the first thing that came to mind. What if I talked about collectibles? Because I was doing a lot of it. And some of the first YouTubers I watched were Bearded Pop Hunter and Top Pops, and Wasatch Pop. I think were my first three that I first found. And for me, it's like I liked all three of their contents, but for different reasons. If that makes any sense, they were all making very, it's hard to get out of the groove of it, but each of them had a very unique style to the way they were vlogging and the way they were creating content. And seeing the way that they did that made me think, okay, what's my style? What's my vision for YouTube? And now I probably follow 100 plus different small YouTubers that I think are awesome and make good content. And I am inspired by all of them pretty much every day. For lack of a better word, I try to watch YouTube videos every single night before I go to bed, just to catch up on people's content and see what people's lives are like. As much as collecting YouTube channels are about collections, there's also like a vlogging aspect to it, and getting to catch up with old. It feels like catching up with old friends, and I think that that's a very important aspect of the YouTube community that I didn't understand before I got into Funko Pops. I used to get on YouTube to like look up certain things, right? I'd go on there to like watch a anime fight scene, or like watch a specific like video about some drama, or like something, or a sketch comedy or something, right? But it wasn't until recently, probably in the last 2 years, that I really discovered how much people were putting their lives on there. Like putting aspects of who they were, and people that are wanting to interact and socialize. And I found that to be very humbling to just recognize and be a part of now. So I'm really impressed by that. But yeah, at the end of the day, Bearded Pop Hunter is one of my biggest inspirations. Whether he knows it or not, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I've watched every video that he's put out, and I think that I've interacted with him multiple times. He's a very kind person. He has a really good heart, and I think that his content is just very engaging. And I think he has a really good handle on what YouTube is about. Just this idea of being familiar with his audience and being comfortable with them. So I really like that, and I think that's my end goal, right? To just be familiar and comfortable with the people I engage with. No matter how large that becomes, I want to show that. So that's my goal with YouTube, especially. So Beard, if you ever see this, I know I've already sent him many letters, things like that. And I tell him constantly that I really look up to him, but he's a great YouTube creator and a great human being. Very grateful for everything he does. One of my biggest inspirations.
No, that's definitely great. Mm-hmm. I mean, pretty much all of us, we always we look up to someone that like just inspired us to do not just videos, but like, just to go further in life and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like to me personally, I never thought I'd be a part of this Funko community.
Right.
Like, I started collecting Funko Pops 2 years ago, and at the time being, it made me feel good about myself,
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me if I get a little personal, but
oh yeah,
there was just many points in my life where, I dealt with depression. Mm-hmm. At one point, I was suicidal, and when Funko Pops started rolling by, to me at least, I was like, oh, this is cool, because Captain America, he was one of my top favorite Marvel characters, and he was actually the first Funko Pop I ever picked up.
Wow.
And I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. It made me happy just to get it. I mean, I didn't know at the time it was a Funko Pop. I just knew that it was like a bobblehead.
Right.
And then from there, my sister got me like, my second Funko Pop like for around Christmas time the following year. And then, I was just being so overjoyed, so happy with these Funko Pops that it made me feel better about myself. And I was like, okay, and then to myself, I was thinking like, this isn't enough. I want to interact with meet people that have the same interests and everything. And this was back in 2018. I wanted to make a channel, but myself, I don't have a camera. I'm not good with editing, so I was like, just forget it. And then like this year rolls by. Back in March is when I made my my Instagram for like my collectibles and everything. Right. And throughout that time, I met a lot of great people. Like Collector Lamsey, I am J-Rod.
Good people over there. Those Aussies are good people.
No, they are, man. And Russell collects as well. Those guys,
Russell's great.
They were three of the first people that inspired me to just to really do my channel.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, I did. My first video was the Venomized Ghost Rider, the blue.
Oh yes, I remember it. Yeah, I remember it.
And like, I was thinking, wow, this has like almost 300 views already to this day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's just insane that how many people show me a lot of love and everything. And I feel like if I didn't make the channel, I wouldn't have met like you, Dark Sage, Feds.
Yep.
Everyone else, Aztec, Awakened Sage.
Yep.
And to me, at one point, I got a little emotional that I can't believe, I'm a part of this community already, and everyone's just showing me love. And because I love to show a lot of love as well, support, like you mentioned, the smaller channels and everything.
Right.
And to me, like, I still can't believe I'm a part of this, and I never thought I'd get to become good friends, like like Nakama, Droop's vids, and Funko Cobb, because I've been watching for their channel for like 2 years when I first started collecting them. Now they're like bros of mine, and I was like, this is fucking great. This is incredible and everything.
I love that, AJ. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're all really happy that you chose to start something, and I think your influence and impact has been big, and I think we're lucky that you chose to jump in, and we're lucky you're here, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we really are. And I love this community, and I'm happy that we all have gotten to meet so many people through it. So very, very fantastic.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. And I think we're going to wrap this up already. And Jerry, man, bro, really want to thank you for being a part of this. Mm-hmm. My 12th episode of this series, and it has been incredible, and this is just going to continue, and I can't wait to see it grow more often. And like I said, Jerry, thank you for taking time out of your day to being a part of this. Definitely proud and honored to have Ani here, mm-hmm. and everyone else in the comments that was here showing love, like Rob, Aztec, Awakened Sage, Feds, Dark Sage, Nakama, Droops. There were a lot of people here, so your wife included.
Yes.
Thank you all for tuning in and everything. Really appreciate every single one of you.
Yes.
Can't thank all of you from the bottom of my heart, and it really means a lot for just all of you tuning in and everything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, thank you, AJ. Thank you for having me. I had a ton of fun. And obviously, if you ever want to collaborate or connect on anything in the future, I'm always open. I love the idea of having connections in this community. So, and that's open to all of our homies. You know that I'm always down to do whatever. I love doing this kind of stuff, and love the community, love the people we can interact with. So thank you again, AJ. It was a ton of fun. And obviously, you can stay messaging. If anything ever comes up, or if you ever need any pops, always make sure to hit me up. I can always help when I can. So I definitely got your back, man.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I really appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I mean, maybe I'll hit you up sometime this month so we can do something.
If you ever want to do anything, I'm here. I'm always here. I tell everyone that I'm always here. So, and also obviously just if you're ever bored or lonely, I also just love to talk to people. So that's open to anyone. People will DM me sometimes, and I will talk to them for hours just cause, so I'm always friendly and want to be a friendly face in the community. So
yeah, definitely. Hopefully we can do something this month, because after this month, spoiler alert, I'm gonna be taking a break from YouTube. I will get into that more later on this month. But yeah, we'll be taking a break, and really want to do something with you, Jerry, this month, and we'll work it out. We'll talk and everything.
It's made happen, man. Absolutely. Great to talk to you, AJ. Wish you the best. I'm about to go eat dinner. So
all right.
Absolutely. Bye, man. Bye, everyone, for watching. Thank you again.
Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.